Tonight we're making French onion soup, and the nice thing about this, it really doesn't take a lot and you don't have to prep a lot of stuff for it. Probably one of the hardest things I did was actually cutting the onions. It's about 3 or 4 onions, give or take. I diced them. Makes them a little smaller, but they'll break down easier and they'll cook a little bit faster. I also cheated. I bought store-bought stock. I've got beer. Of course, this is beer I have from downstairs. This is Indian Summer that I'm going to use to deglaze. And then I have some baguettes that are going to go inside. We're going to take the onions into our pot and caramelize them. Nice hot. This is going to take a little bit because we got quite a few onions, but it's the main ingredient of the soup, so you want to have a good amount. This is going to be a slow cooking process on these. I want them to caramelize. I don't want them to sear. I want them to caramelize. So, hot pan, just to get them started. I might lower the heat coming up onto them. But the main thing is I got to keep them moving so the onions have severely reduced themselves. Less than half of what the volume they originally had. Nice and sweet. They're nice and caramelized. Brought out the natural sugar, so now we're going to deglaze with a little bit of the beer. The best part about, having, you always got a little bit left over for you. Oh yeah. So, the first liquid is in. We're going to let this cook down just a little bit before we add the stocks. Okay, and now our last step on the soup itself, we're adding the stocks. And if you didn't notice, I'm using beef and chicken. I like to combine the two because it gives it an extra layer of flavor that you get more than you would with just a single type of stock. And with this, on an onion soup, I like it to be natural, or I like it to, not natural, I like it to maintain its own density. Is that a good word? So I won't add any thickener to it at all. It will stay basically just like this. I'm going to reduce it some, but I'm not going to add any thickener or anything to it. But right now, the main thing we want to do is bring this up to a boil, get it nice and hot. If you can see, there's plenty of onion in there, nice and oniony, and flavor's pretty good. There's a nice sweetness in there from the onion itself. We'll let this cook down. While we're waiting on this, I've already cut the baguette into croutons. Got some cheese on them. These are going to go in the oven for a few minutes. When they come out, they'll be nice and bubbly. And go right at the end. Everything's ready to go. A couple ways we could do it. We could put the soup in, and then put the crouton on top. We're going to go a little crazy. We're going to put the crouton in the bottom. Grab some soup. Put it in on top. Fun thing is that crouton's still going to float, but it has a chance to get nice and soaked up in the broth that way.